This is just another drop in the bucket. This is Matt, and I am bringing you a live introduction to Shimmer inks on stone paper. I wanted to do this for a while. Stone paper holds ink up a little bit longer, and when the ink settles, it makes it shimmer a little bit more and shade. A little tidbit here, we have a members card for those that apply to join and are accepted into the Social Secret Society, and we have one of the patches if you are a content creator. So if you do fountain pen reviews, which is the main thing we are into here, you get this one right here. And if you are into news and you're a news junkie, you get the Eye of Horus. So very Secret Society related, very cool. And one of the things, if we meet here locally in Florida, we request that you bring your membership card with your name that you wish to be called. It does not have to be your actual name. And for those in the future that will watch more videos, will get to see what I call myself here. So that is my introduction for today, with a little bit on ADB and what we have and what's coming up for everybody and what you get as an ADB member. That'll be just another drop in the bucket. Of course, just real quick, I am usually the gilded bucket, and all the drops fill up the bucket, which is how I kind of envision the way my content goes. That includes the feather and inkwell, anyone doing reviews, and it includes the news. Everyone is filling the bucket. Everyone is welcome to join, and you do have to apply. There are some people, we do prefer adults. If you want to be a member, it is 18 plus, just so that everyone's fully capable of enjoying wherever we go. And also, it takes care of the whole parental thing and make sure you have full rights to, be wherever on your own, and you're your own person at that point in time. And in addition, we request that you own a fountain pen. That's the major stipulation here. You need to own a fountain pen. You can write however you like, but fountain pens are what we're all about here in this Social Secret Society. Today, in this giant mess, you will see something that may look familiar to you or not. I have done a review on it before. It is the Galaxy themed glass dipping pen. We use this for reviewing inks because it gives us the truest sense of, one, the ink and the grittiness of the ink, and two, it eliminates any grit that would be present from an actual pen nib. And so I'll be using this to demo all the inks today. And I'll be just shaking up my Shimmer inks, and I'll be dipping each one a couple times, cleaning it off, drying it off, and going on to the next one. I'll do a smudge test, I'll do a sentence, and we'll see how it goes. I expect this to be some of the most shade and shimmer, and hopefully this will go relatively quick, but I expect it to take a few minutes. With that, let's get going, guys. We're going to do a little bit of zoom in so everyone can see what all these lovely inks look like up close. So give us just a minute while cameras are adjusted, but stay tuned in. We are going to be live, and things are going to be nice and visible for everyone. Just be more about the pens and the ink and the paper. Again, this is a Karst notebook, and it is stone paper. There are several brands that make stone. It is, in fact, an actual type of stone that is woven into these pages. It is still flexible. It does claim to be a little bit more on the water resistant side. As such, ink takes a little bit longer to properly settle into the page. I am starting with Diamine Magic Forest, or Magical Forest, sorry. It is a highly shimmering ink, and it is green primarily, with a bright silver shimmer. I have shaken it up quite well. There's the first color. Should probably set it on my paper towel in the future to avoid chipping. This next one is, this is a rare one. It doesn't have a full label, but it is Diamine Ekindle. And this is by, I believe, the company Girls, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. This is kind of like a Chinese exclusive, a very bright, it is actually going to come out orange, and you can already see it in the bottle, just how shimmery that is. See all that? Super shimmer. Now, I have written with this before, and I have written with it with my bent nibs, and it comes out really amazing after it dries. While you write with it before, it is a little bit on the transparent side, but it has extreme shimmer. So far, both of these inks have come out really smooth. It being a glass, ooh, already dripping a little bit. I'll have to use that as the review area. All right, let's give that a minute to dry. I'm not going to do very much with it just because I'm not, again, I have a glass nib. It's going to be pretty much like writing with a medium. It's a little bit on the sharp side, and it is super smooth. It's a lot like writing with a 14K nib. Overall, it's just, it gives you an idea of the paper that you're writing with and the ink that you're writing with, and it lets you demonstrate inks exceedingly well in that manner. Next one I'm going to be sampling is going to be the Diamine Inkvent Blue Edition. This was part of the Inkvent calendar. I don't know what year. It says 23, maybe? No. I don't know. If anyone knows, please comment down below. I actually don't know what year this is from. I don't think it was this past year. I think it was a previous one. Here's the bottle that it comes in. Very special looking.
It's footed.
Yes, it is a footed bottle. It should have a lot of shimmer and shade, but it is in fact a shimmer edition. I'm actually missing one from my collection. I don't have Polar Glow. No, this is Polar Glow. Excuse me. I just saw the blue edition. Just a reminder for everyone, this paper is like writing on very thick velvet. It is super soft, super smooth, and it stays wet extra long. So I'm not even going to attempt it on anything like that, and seeing how wet it still is, I'm guessing everything is still quite wet. Because there you go, my sentence was nowhere near dry when I smudged it. I will have some interesting ink stains on my fingers in the next couple of days. Gives people something to talk about. And, you know, I'm like, hey, why do you have blue, green, and every other color on your fingers? Oh, I write with fountain pens. That's one of the joys of writing with fountain pens. You get to tell people about it because of your hands. Cap's a little finicky. Gotta make sure I have it on good. I think it's the foil liner in it. There it goes. Maybe? Still not. Sorry guys. Give me a second here. How is it so far off of center? At like a certain point it just falls away. I think the threads are off on this one. Make sure it's extra tight. Came out straight in the end. We're good. This next one is also by Congirls, and it is named Congirls. It is their self-named color. They're a company out of China, and they are a super shimmer company.
UK.
Oh, UK. And you can see the little bit of shimmer right there. Let me see. There it is. Let me get it shaken up. I don't know if you could see it. It's kind of a dark, because it's a really dark purple, but it has a very light color that it shimmers. So that will be exciting. And that, you could see, has intense shimmer and sheen and shade and everything else. This is a very, very potent color. Probably be almost impossible to get it off my hands tonight. Probably take all week for it to wash off. Now to clean this off in between, I'm literally just using some very, very mild dish detergent and soap. 2 parts. A smaller bottle, one that it came with to get it, you know, it knacked to start with, and then a much larger cup of this very same thing to get the most of it cleared off after that, and then drying it just with a mostly soft paper towel. And that is literally all you need in between. This last one is one I've had for a while. It is the Lamy Crystal Ink. It is the Azure color, which is purple with a green shimmer. Now, when I first picked this out, this is what I envisioned ballpoint ink from Bic looked like to me that was kind of dried out. Kind of a blue purple with a little bit of green in the background. So it actually comes out not quite what that is, but it is pretty close. And it makes you have not a flat ink. So me put on this last cap. Let me clean up the nib, and we're going to give this a minute to dry, and we will see how they come out. I may even shine an additional light over them, just so we can enjoy what shimmer and shade is on it and its full complexities. This last one, this Crystal Ink by Lamy, is probably the hardest one I have to remove out of all of my pens. When it goes through a nib and feed, it is almost impossible to remove. I have washed a nib and feed probably several dozen times trying to get it out before putting in new ink, and it was still putting out some amount of crystal ink. To be fair, I did use it for the first year that I owned that particular pen. It was, in fact, a Lamy pen that I had it on, the AI on, in dark forest green. Currently is out of commission after I tried to remove the feed, which was, turns out, kind of a mistake. They're very hard to remove feeds, and guys got overzealous with it. I got greedy and I pulled out a pair of pliers and ruined it. I knew I would. I wanted to get it out to clean the section and everything around it, and so I was anticipating it being ruined, and that is what happened. So I just haven't put it back in commission. It's $20 from what I understand or so to get a new feed in it, but I do have to send it to the American Lamy repair person here, and I actually was able to get that person's name, number, email, all that from Goulet Pens. So shout out to Goulet for having good information. Go ahead and put some of this away. But today I think went fairly well. I've been wanting to do this for a while, demonstrate all of my shading and sheening inks on stone paper. It writes so smooth and it holds ink up so well. It almost never dries, which in most cases is extremely bad unless you have all the time in the world to let a page sit. If you do, this is the perfect paper for you. I'll probably leave this out overnight, even though I will demonstrate how far it has come along right now with a little bit brighter light on it, and we'll have a look, but I will leave it out overnight for it to dry. There we go, getting a little bit more light on it. Yes. All right, let's see how it's coming along on the paper, guys. I don't know. Here we go. There we are. All right, so this top one, it has shimmer and it is silver. If I kind of flex it this way and that, you might see it. It does shade heavy when it is super wet, and it shades back a lighter, kind of a glowy green, I would say. You could see it in the text. Even in the text, it is shading pretty well. That is with my glass pen, and that is on this very, very velvety paper, so I expected it to shade and sheen and shimmer everything exceedingly well. Wow. The Ekindle is still pooling. My orange/red ink that I mentioned to you guys that shimmered so well, it's still wet and still moving around right there. It is shading pretty good, but you could see right now it is a very, very light ink. In the future, I'm probably going to do a custom mix with some deeper red and that in it and spice things up a little bit. The Polar Glow by Diamine in their Inkvent series, you could see it shades very dark when it's super wet, and it does shimmer quite a bit It's not quite present right now, but it's in there. I've seen it. But its main thing is, in fact, the shading. It shades a couple different colors. So it has that purple in it, but it is kind of like an afterglow. And that's the whole point. Down here to the the Kongirls self-named ink. It started off a kind of a vibrant light colored purple. It shades a bit darker, and it shaded quite well even just in the text. The darkest of these was actually the Lamy crystal. It shaded very little until I smudged it. So if you have a super huge thing like one of my bent nibs, you'll probably finally get to see what it's all about. With that being said, I don't actually see that much of its crystal look in it. It does have a shimmer to it, but it's just, I guess, a little bit not as present as the others. It's known for it, but maybe because it's older. I did shake it well, so I don't know what its deal is tonight, but that's how all these inks performed on stone paper. They perform differently on all of them. Sometimes, if I write on my Rhodia, it might do better, it might do worse, it may not shade, or it may sheen. Every paper is different. This is my demonstration on stone paper tonight, and this has been another drop in the bucket.